Joining us as we continue our top 20 countdown for the best barnstormers of all time, is voted on by the fans, and our expert panel is infielder Travis Hake. Travis, you got to give credit to the fans for actually going all the way back to the opening years of the franchise. I thought maybe the voting would tip toward the later seasons, but actually it uh, showed that the fans still have very, very fond memories of the early years of Stormers baseball.
Yeah, that's what I said. When I seen it come across, I thought, man, that's really neat. Even that I was even chosen. But I thought, back when we first started it, it was so amazing. And I thought it was amazing. And even the older we get, I look back, I'm like, gosh, that was so cool how that went down. And there was such energy. And I don't know if it truly has lost that energy a little bit. I'm sure it probably did just because it's not new anymore, the newness. But when I posted it, like I shared your post, I didn't truly do it for people to vote for me. I just did it because I was like, a lot of people don't even know anything about that. I played for the Barnstormers. So when I did it and people were like, oh my gosh, you were my favorite Barnstormer, I was like, oh my gosh, what's this? So it is really neat because, like you said, I would think it would be the most current Barnstormers that get the most notoriety just because it's the freshest thing in their mind.
You look back to 2005, just to the very beginning of the franchise, and it took maybe a half a year or so for Tommy and Keith to figure out how to actually assemble a team that could win in the Atlantic League. But even the second half of that first year, there was so much energy on the ball club, so much excitement. It was just, even though it didn't make the playoffs that year, it was that team was a lot of fun to watch.
That's what I would think too. Even when I seen this, I thought, man, that first year was so awesome. When we came out from center field on the red carpet, and even for the first couple years, the whiteouts and the red out code reds and all that stuff, it was so cool. And you appreciate it more now being 47. I'm like, and I tell people about it to where back then you almost take it for granted. And just like you're still there, and Ross is still there. It's so neat because you guys really, truly keep the thing going. I mean, we should be still more involved, like Jutt, myself, guys that are local. And obviously the local guys, it did mean something maybe a little more to the fans. And I brought a lot of people from York County over, but it was so awesome back then. Those years, that 2005, 2006 were just unbelievable.
And then of course you hailing from York County, this huge rivalry eventually that developed between the Stormers and the Revs, and you got to be part of it actually on both ends eventually, but that just added a new element to everything too.
Oh yeah, and that was so weird. We came over to Lancaster when I went over to the Revs, and it was it was odd. I'll be honest, because I'm in the opposite dugout now. I'm in the opposing dugout, and all my friends are on Lancaster just because I love that place. I truly love Lancaster, and even now in today's times, I still go to Lancaster more than York, just in general to restaurants or whatever. But when I was on the opposing team, when I was with the Revs and we were playing you, I was like, oh my gosh, this just doesn't even seem right. And I had Ryan Miner, and it was still a lot of good guys on York, but I had Ross and Patterson, just all these guys over there that you miss. And we grew up, it felt like a little family. That first year with you, I mean, we had to be tight just because it was all new to us. So it was very, very hard leaving that, I can tell you. I didn't like it, to be straight up honest.
Yeah, it was uh going from 2006 to 2007. I mean, we could get into that for forever and a day, but let's focus on 2005. You started off at shortstop. Judd was at second base. A very quick switch
Yeah.
early on really helped both of you guys settle in. You taking over second, Judd taking over in the outfield, and that team really solidified after a while. And you think some of the games in the second half. I think of that one painfully long Sunday afternoon, but that exciting game against Nashua where Quincy won it with a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 15th inning, and we played for 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
But I also look back to the final game of that season. Uh, it was a meaningless game as far as the standings were concerned. We had a packed house. The game went down to the wire against Newark. and the excitement that was building in the just through the ninth inning and through Patty getting the save and nailing down that win that afternoon, you kind of had an idea what might be in store in 2006, and it turned out that way.
Yeah. No, I agree. That first year like that. And what's really weird is I played every single game at shortstop through college, and I was so comfortable. I never wanted to play anywhere else. I got drafted by Milwaukee, and I played some shortstop, but we had some higher round picks at shortstop. So I moved to second base. I still wasn't completely comfortable. And then once I got to Lancaster, I went to shortstop. And I still have the first pitch picture back in my son's bedroom. And just how little I looked out there at shortstop in that picture. And I was like, oh my gosh. And the field was cut real big. And I wasn't truly really comfortable. And so when I went over to second base, I had Tommy there, obviously, and I don't know, it's just, even though it was nerve wracking playing for, a really good second baseman, a Hall of Fame second baseman for the Cardinals in that right, I was very nervous playing for him, at second base, but I truly just felt so much more comfortable at second once we did it. And actually, I loved playing second base then. But then even afterwards, when I come back to local ball, I played shortstop. And again, everybody knows me as a shortstop. But at Lancaster and even pro ball in general, I just wasn't that comfortable at shortstop. Now I don't know if it's just because I didn't play that often there, but I just don't know what it was. But in today's, everybody around knows me as a shortstop, but in pro ball, I was a second baseman.
So nowadays, may still be involved in baseball, but hunting sort of has always been a passion of yours, and that sort of became the focal point of your life. You've had a TV show. Is that still running?
Nope, I sort of got out of that. I mean, just even a year or two ago, I was involved with some shows, but my kids are starting to get older, and I just didn't have the time anymore. I'm coaching basketball and baseball. My daughter plays soccer, basketball. My son plays baseball, basketball, and football, and they're 12 and 9 now. So I'm so busy. And back when I got out of baseball, I mean, I had a lot of free time to do that kind of stuff and travel. And now it's just, I still hunt a lot. I have deer. It's terrible to say, but to some people, I have deer heads all over my wall and some big deer. And I still do it. I still hunt a lot of, I take a lot of time to hunt. But now, again, even on that, it's a lot of my kids' time. Like to where I used to go everywhere. Now it's my kids are going. So it's just different now. It's changed. But I don't feel 47, but obviously I am. And just like you, I can remember when you were starting, your kids were young, and now I'm like, holy cow, they're out of college, and it's crazy how fast it's flying. But no, I really enjoy this aspect. I love coaching. I love coaching my kids, and sometimes I got to tone it down a little bit in baseball because I'm so competitive. But I have a really good coach that coaches with me. It's very positive, so it helps me be very positive. But I don't know. I just like the coaching aspect.
Well, Travis, I'm going to let you go because I've got things I need to do and you've got things you need to do today. But again, congratulations. We hope you can make it out. We're trying to put together a night, perhaps, where we can get as many of these 20 back as possible. Obviously, there are guys who have other commitments, like out on the West Coast, for example, that won't be able to make it. But we're hoping you can drive across the river and join us for an evening at some point during the season. And again, congratulations on being named as one of the 20 great Stormers of all time.
Yeah, and thank you to all the fans because it really is something. Even if I see people in here I haven't seen for a while and they'll comment, and I'm like, gosh, that's crazy that they still remember this. And like I told you, and when we message back and forth, it is so surreal and it's very cool the older we get. But no, I truly appreciate it. And thank you. Even like Ross, I talk to him every once in a while, we'll text, but like all of those guys were so good. Burkhart, all those guys, Quincy were just such good teammates. It was just so cool to be a part of it. But no, thank you guys, and thank you. You're still there. It's amazing, but you were always so good at it. But yeah, and hopefully I get over. I told my daughter, I said maybe we'll go in the press box some night. And even kids I coach now, I'm like, we should go to Barnstormers games and just go see it and go down and say hi to you guys and Ross and just everybody. But no, thank you.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll cover the career of one of the great home run hitters, and matter of fact, the single season record holder all time for the Barnstormers in hitting the long ball. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.